Namaste friends. In today's class we'll be doing a beautiful yin yang flow. So working with our feminine and our masculine energies, spending a lot of time finding balance. Okay, so let's come to settle on our mats in a seated position with your legs folded, however it's comfortable for you. We're going to start today's practice with some ocean breathing or Ujjayi pranayama. So just come to settle on your mats and place your hands into mudra with the index finger and the thumbs touching. And you can gently bring your hands to rest on your knees. And now let's just close our eyes and start to connect with your natural breath. And use this opportunity just to set an intention for today's class. And maybe since we're doing a yin yang class, let's set an intention for balance and harmony. Now the Ujjayi breath work, known as the ocean breath or victorious breath, essentially makes the sound of the ocean at the back of our throats. So when you're inhaling and exhaling, draw the breath towards the back of your throat. Almost imagine that you're cleaning your sunglasses. So sigh that breath out as though you're puffing up your sunglasses to mist them and clean them. And once you get used to that sensation, you can start to close your mouth and do all the breathing through your nose. So let's just start by emptying our lungs together. Deep exhalation to empty those lungs. And now we'll inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, just sigh it out. You can start with your mouth open. Creating a long ocean breath. And now let's do one more together. Inhale. And exhale. And now you can start to work in your own time, keeping your mouth closed and trying to do all the breathing through your nose, but still creating that oceanic sound. So inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And throughout this class, we'll come back to our Ujjayi breath work. It's really nice to connect with the ocean breath when you're working with the yin poses. Just helps us to stay in the present and to breathe through the poses because we hold them for quite some time. So now let's just come back to our natural breathing. Let's inhale deeply, reaching those arms up. You can interlace the fingers above your head, pressing the palms away from you, stretching into the side body. And now on our next inhalation, let's extend a little bit further. And then as you exhale, lean across to the left-hand side. And then come back to center. Inhale and exhale across to the right. Inhale to center and exhale to the left. Inhale center and exhale right. And now we can come back to center. We're going to release those hands. So some gentle wrist rolls as you bring your hands down on either side of the torso. Now we're going to move into extended child's pose. So while we're in our child's pose, use the opportunity to connect to your ocean breath again. So just come to kneeling on your mat. We'll open up our knees, keeping the soles of the feet together. And then just gently inhale and extend those arms up. And as you exhale, reach forward, walking those hands out in front of you. And then gently extending the torso and lowering your forehead to the mat. now let's slowly lift up our heads. You can extend those arms out further in front of you, lifting up your tailbone as we melt our chests down to the mat for puppy pose. So just a deeper extension of the back and the shoulders. And again, connect to your breath. Now we'll start to walk those hands up, coming into tabletop position. So your wrists are stacked beneath your shoulders. Your legs are parallel, hip distance apart. The knees are stacked beneath your hips. And let's just move into some gentle spinal rolls. So just moving in any direction that works for you. You can bend your elbows, bend your knees. Inhale and exhale with each rotation. So inhale to start your circle and exhale to complete. And just find your own rhythm, work to your own breath, connecting each movement with your breathing. And now we'll change direction. You can close your eyes. Use this as a form of meditation, gently warming up our bodies, connecting to our breath. Now you can come to a stationary position in your tabletop. We're going to just work with some cat-cow. So inhaling to arch the back and gently gaze ahead. And then exhale to round for cat pose, tucking in the chin, feeling that stretch in the back. Inhale for cow. And exhale cat. Inhale cow. And exhale cat. Let's do one more together. Inhale for cow. Really extend into that back. And now let's exhale for cat. Now come back to a neutral spine, back in your tabletop position. Extending that right leg back behind you, coming onto the ball of the foot, stretching through the toes, warming up the hamstring. You can gently rock back and forth, just easing into it, preparing for our class. And now we're going to float that leg up, keeping the foot flexed, and we're just going to pulse 10 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now pointing that toe. As you inhale, you're going to stretch the leg, and as you exhale, draw it into your chest. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, stretch, and exhale, crunch. Inhale and exhale. And now extend the leg behind you, bend that knee, keep the toe pointed. Sweep your left arm up and over to connect with that toe for tiger pose. A nice gentle back bend just to warm up the back in preparation for our class. And then you can sweep that arm back down, extend the leg behind you, and draw the knee back down onto the mat. Let's repeat on the left-hand side. So extending that leg behind you, warming up and stretching those toes, warming up the calf muscles. Remembering to connect to your breath throughout the class. And now let's float that leg up, keeping the foot flexed, preparing for 10 pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now you can point your toes, really extend into that leg. Inhale as you stretch your body, and exhale to crunch. Inhale and exhale, crunch. Inhale, extend, exhale, crunch. Inhale, extend, and exhale, crunch. And now we'll extend that leg, bending the knee, sweeping the right arm up and over to take hold of those toes for tiger pose. And just hold your tiger, enjoying this back bend. Remembering to breathe, connecting to your breath. And now let's sweep that arm back, replacing the knee onto the mat, and just come back for a gentle restoration in extended child. Let's come back onto all fours into our tabletop position. Sweeping that right leg back behind you, pointing the toes, floating the leg up. And now we're going to exhale, drawing the knee into our chest, and we're going to cross that leg over our left leg, coming into cow face pose or Gomukhasana. So I'm just going to demonstrate from the front. So when we're sitting in this position, our knees are stacked on top of each other. Our feet are on either side of our glutes, and you're lifting up through the chest, extending the spine, broadening through the chest, finding a comfortable position. If you need to sit on a block just to assist you in stacking those knees, that's absolutely fine. So I'm going to move back so that we can do this together. So coming into your cow face pose, your right knee will be on top of your left. So let's inhale and extend those arms out to the side. Now you're going to rotate your right arm so that the thumb is facing down. And then sweep that arm down and up so that the hand gently rests between your shoulder blades. And then inhale and extend the left arm up, interlacing the fingers behind your back. If you're unable to reach your fingers, you can use a belt or a strap, or you can hold on to your hair or your clothes. So just do whatever works for you. This is a gentle rotation for the shoulders. Some of us are very stiff in our shoulders, so take it easy and work with your own body. And let's connect to our breath again. You can gently gaze ahead, just being mindful of keeping that torso elongated. And now let's release the hands. Take hold of the ball of the right foot with your right hand. And we're just going to extend that leg out in front of us for a gentle hamstring stretch. Trying to keep the torso straight, so keeping that spine elongated. Just work with whatever's comfortable for you. If you need to keep a micro bend in your knee, that's absolutely fine. Just gently waking up our hamstrings. And then you can open up for a side stretch. Again, just easing into it, working with whatever's comfortable for you. And now we'll return that leg to the front. And then plant the sole of the foot on the outside of your left thigh. We're moving into Lord of the Fishes. Now from this position, let's inhale and extend the left arm up, bringing the elbow to the outside of that knee for a closed twist. And in this twist, your fingers are activated. You're pressing through the palm of your hand. Your arm is assisting in extending that torso so that your back is nice and elongated. And your elbow is gently pressing against your knee just to really move into that twist. Twists are so good for the digestive system and just generally to detox. And now let's release. We'll replace that hand onto the mat. Sweeping your right leg up and over, we're going to move into my favorite yin pose, which is our pigeon. So just find a comfortable seat in your pigeon pose, aligning those hips, sinking down into your seat. And let's just inhale, and as you exhale, bring the hands behind your back and interlace the fingers. And now inhale and open up that chest. Drawing the hands up, so trying to draw those shoulder blades in at the same time, opening up your heart center, gentle back bend. And now let's release. We can replace both hands onto the mat. Now we're going to bend our right knee, sweeping that right arm up and over for another little back bend and also a quad stretch. And just hold and breathe. Connect to your breath throughout this class. And now we're going to return our hand to the mat and slowly walk your hands out in front of you as we come to relax and recline in our pigeon pose. So you can allow the forehead just to rest on your hands. Work with whatever's comfortable for you. We're going to stay in our pigeon for some time, so connect to that ocean breath and just enjoy this restorative pose. Easing into it. Make sure you're completely comfortable. If you need to place a block under your glutes for support, you're welcome to do that. And remembering in your yin poses to just keep coming back to your breath. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose, creating that ocean sound at the back of your throat. And now let's slowly start to come back to a seated position, walking those hands up. Just shift your glutes so that you come to a seated position with your left leg bent and your right leg extended. Inhale and reach those arms up. Shift your torso to face your bent leg, and we're just going to walk our hands across that bent knee, coming into a gentle forward fold. And now let's slowly walk our hands back, coming back to seated. Slide that right elbow down towards your right knee. We're working into a lateral stretch or a side stretch, so your foot is flexed. You want to rotate that shoulder back, lifting the top ribs back, drawing the bottom ribs up. So you're trying to really extend through the side body. Once you've found your comfortable position, you can inhale and just extend that arm up and over. You can bring it to hang. You can use it to hold up your head, supporting your neck, or you can just allow it to flop down, whatever's comfortable for you. But throughout this pose, we're trying to maintain that rotation of the rib cage and that extension in the side body. And again, just remembering to connect to your breath, breathing through it, enjoying these restorative postures. And now let's slowly come back up. We're going to open up our legs, coming into Upavista Konasana, our wide angle seated position. So let's just start by warming up our hamstrings a little bit. We're going to exhale and drop the body down to one side, and then inhale as you come back to seated. Exhale and drop to the other side, and inhale to come back to neutral. Just keep working through this on your own time. You can close your eyes, you can find your own rhythm. You're just slowly warming up the backs, loosening up those hamstrings. You should start to feel a little bit of a stretch in those hamstrings as you work with this gentle movement. Nice dynamic flow, connecting to our breath, warming up the torso, and just allowing those hamstrings to gently wake up. And now we're going to come back to a stationary position, placing the hands onto the hips. We'll work with some gentle rotations here. So exhale as you come forward, and inhale to come back. Just move again in your own time, connecting with your breath, synchronizing each movement with your own breath work. Again, easing into it, finding a gentle rhythm. You can close your eyes. And now we're going to change direction. Again, use this as a gentle form of meditation. Slowly waking up our bodies, finding that gentle, calm rhythm that synchronizes with our breath work. And now we'll come back to a stationary position as we prepare for our forward fold. So in Upavista Konasana, your feet are flexed and your legs are gently rotated inwards, which helps you so you can shift your glutes back, and it actually helps create space for that gentle forward fold. So you can come forward to whatever is comfortable for you. If you want to stay on the palms of the hands with the arms extended, extending through the back, that's absolutely fine. Alternatively, you can come to rest onto the elbows. And finally, if you want a deeper extension, you can hold onto the ankles, dropping down, or you can place your hands into fists and gently bring your forehead to rest onto your fists. And this is another yin pose, so we'll stay here for a while, easing into it, remembering to connect with your breath. So again, you want to use this opportunity to work into the fascia, because that's what really, really helps us with our flexibility. So staying in these yin poses is just so beneficial. It's the time in the pose that does all the work for us. So just ease into it, and with every breath, just allow your body to drop down a little bit further, millimeter by millimeter. There's no pressure, nothing to prove. Just work with your own body in your own time. Yoga teaches us to have patience and humility. So just keep working through it, enjoying this pose. Try to find the restorative healing aspects of this pose, and your body will just gently surrender with each breath. Slowly come up to a seated position, so walk your way up very carefully. Now we're going to bend our right knee. We're going to work the sequence on the other side. So inhale and reach those arms up, shifting the torso to face your bent knee, and gently walk that body across for a forward extension. Now let's slowly walk our way back to a seated position, and then sliding that arm down so that the elbow connects with the knee, finding that rotation in the upper body, drawing the shoulder blades in, lifting up your ribs, finding that extension in the side. Beautiful lateral stretch. And now once you've found your position, you can inhale, reaching that arm up and over, and just gently bringing it to fall wherever it lands. And again, connecting with your breath, breathing into it, going within. And now let's inhale and come back to seated position. We're going to shift to face the short edge of our mat as we come into our pigeon pose on the other side. So again, just find your comfortable position here. Find that seat, aligning the hips, drawing both hips down. Settle into your pose. And once you've found your position, we're going to inhale, and as we exhale, we'll bring the hands behind our backs, interlacing the fingers. stabilize your body. And then inhale to broaden through the chest, drawing those shoulder blades in, lifting up the arms. And you can lift up the head, enjoying this back bend. Opening up the throat chakra, working with the thyroid. Beautiful heart opener. And now let's release, bringing the hands back on either side of our bodies. Lift up your back leg, pointing those toes, sweeping the arm up and over to connect with your toes for a quad stretch and a little back bend. And just hold and breathe. And now let's gently release, walking the hands out in front of you, coming to settle in your pigeon pose. So bringing the forehead to rest onto the palms of the hands and gently connecting again with your Ujjayi breath. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose, drawing that breath to the back of your throat, creating the sound of the ocean. Time to come up, slowly walking our way back up to seated. We're going to sweep that back leg out and draw the foot onto the outsides of the thigh. So we're coming back into our Lord of the Fishes, our half Lord of the Fishes pose. Find your position, stabilize your glutes. And once you've found your position, let's inhale and reach that right arm up, drawing the elbow to the outside of the left knee and gently coming into a twist. Activating those fingers, your fingers are widespread, and use the arm to really help support your torso so that you can extend through the spine, keeping the spine beautifully elongated. You can just gently gaze ahead or gaze across your shoulder. Now let's return that hand to the mat. Take hold of the ball of the foot with your left hand. You're going to lift up that leg for a gentle hamstring stretch, remembering to maintain that elongation in the spine. And just gently hold and breathe. Now we're going to open up to the side. Again, find a comfortable position. If you need a micro bend in your knee, that's absolutely fine. And then we'll return it to the front. And replace that leg on top of your knee, coming back into cow face pose or Gomukhasana. So your knees are stacked. If you need to sit on a block for support, that's absolutely fine. Just find a comfortable position. Try and align the feet so that the feet are in line with the glutes. And once you've found your position, we're going to inhale, reach those arms up. And now your left leg is on top of your right. So rotating that left arm so that the thumb faces down. You're going to sweep the left arm behind you, bringing the hand into the center of your shoulder blades. Then inhale, reach that right arm up, and then interlace the fingers behind your back. And again, if you need to use a strap here, or if you need to hold on to your clothes, that's absolutely fine. And then we're going to gently gaze ahead. In your cow face pose, you're trying to keep the arms as straight as possible. So you're lengthening through the top arm and you're drawing the bottom elbow down. And then you can gently gaze ahead, remembering to keep that spine straight and elongated, lifting up the torso, broadening through the chest. now we can gently release those arms, placing the palms back in front of you as we bend forward, sweeping that leg back and gently returning it to the mat in our tabletop position. And now we're going to bring the feet together, widening those knees, extending into extended child's pose for some restoration. Let's walk our hands back so that we come into a seated position. We've done a lot of yin work, so we should be feeling nice and relaxed. And now it's time to work with some yang energy, some of the masculine poses. So we're going to come to standing at the short edge of our mats. And just come into Tadasana mountain pose. So the outsides of the feet are parallel, the toes are touching, you're zipping up your core, you activating your quads, you're lifting up the kneecaps, broadening through the chest, drawing those shoulder blades in, the arms are by your sides. And now let's inhale and extend those arms up, bringing them into upward prayer pose, and then gently bringing them to rest at heart center. Step back with your right leg as we come into Warrior One pose. So in our Warrior One, the legs are slightly wider than hip distance apart, your back foot is deeply rotated in, and your front foot is parallel to the outside of the mat. And then just sink into that bent knee at the front, maintaining a 90-degree angle, so you want the knee and the ankle to be perfectly stacked. And once you've found your position in Warrior One, let's inhale and reach those arms up, bringing them into steeple fingers. So the index finger is pointed and the thumb and the other fingers are interlaced. And then you can gently start to open up that heart center, taking a small back bend, and you can gaze up at your hands. As we exhale, we're going to shift the weight onto our front foot, easing into Warrior Three pose. So find your drisdi, find your gaze. Gently gaze at the ground and extend into your Warrior Three. Breathing through it, holding your Warrior Three position. And now we're going to drop the hands down to the mat as we come into standing splits. So just take a long deep breath here, holding your standing splits. Your left foot is firmly planted, keeping that left hand planted roughly 30 centimeters away from the baby toe on your left foot. We're going to move into Ardha Chandrasana or half moon. So gently start to raise the right arm, shifting the torso for your half moon balance and flexing that extended foot. I like to keep my gaze on the mat. It grounds me and helps me with my balance. But if you'd like to gaze ahead, you can shift your gaze. And now let's return that hand to the mat, stepping back, and we're going to straighten our front leg for pyramid pose. Just gently flop down, extending into your pyramid pose, feeling the hamstring stretch. You can rub behind your knee. And let's hold our pyramid, breathing into it, remembering to connect with that ocean breath. Now you can place the hands onto the hips with the thumbs and the sacrum and gently lift up that torso, coming back to a standing position, bending your front leg and stepping back into Tadasana mountain pose. Now we're going to repeat on the other side. So inhale and reach those arms up, and as you exhale, bring them to settle at heart center. Stepping back with the left foot, preparing for Warrior One. So stabilize through that back foot, Your legs are in railway tracks, slightly wider than hip distance apart. Find your balance, find your position. Sinking into that bent leg, maintaining a 90-degree angle so that the knee and the ankle are perfectly stacked. Once you've found your stability, let's inhale, reaching those arms up, bringing the fingers into steeple fingers. And then you can start to open up the heart center, broadening through the chest into a gentle back bend, gazing up at your hands. Now shift your gaze ahead of you as we prepare for Warrior 3. So stabilizing through your front foot, grounding through the front foot, pressing into the big toe mound, the baby toe mound, and the heel. Gently easing forward. Find your drizzy, find your gaze. Warrior 3. And then you can come down into standing splits. And we're going to prepare for our half moon balance. So your right foot is completely stable, your right hand is positioned roughly 30 centimeters away from your baby toe. And we're going to gently start to raise the left arm up, flexing that extended leg. And you can either gently gaze ahead or you can stay grounded, gazing at the mat. Just hold your half moon balance, Ardha Chandrasana. And then let's return our hands to the mat, stepping back, extending that front leg as we settle into our pyramid pose. Holding your pyramid, connecting to your breath. And just breathing into it, finding that Ujjayi breath. Now let's bend our front leg, step forward with the back leg. Inhale. Extending those arms up and bringing them to settle in heart center. And now let's inhale, sweeping the arms up, bringing them down to heart center, and exhale to fold forward for Uttanasana, forward fold. Just allow your body to hang here. You can rock gently from side to side. Bend and straighten those legs. In your Uttanasana or your forward fold, you want to start to shift your weight towards the front of your feet, and that will gently encourage the body just to fold forward. Your outsides of your feet are parallel to the mat and the big toes are slightly in, so that gives you a gentle inward rotation of the legs, which again opens up that sacral band, creating space in the pelvis and the hips for the body to drop forward. And in this position, you can work with whatever arm variation suits you. So you can hold on to the elbows, or you can just gently allow the hands to flop by your sides. You can stand on your hands. Just work with whatever's comfortable for you. Let's hold this position, easing into it, feeling the restorative benefits of being upside down. Remembering to connect with your ocean breath. You can allow the neck just to completely relax. You can move the head from side to side, feeling that freedom. Completely letting go. Connecting to your breath, using this as a form of meditation again. Just coming back to stillness, coming back to this present moment on our mats. Now we're going to slowly inhale, placing the hands onto the shins, lifting up for halfway lift, nice flat back, allowing the blood to just flow back. And then let's bend our knees and lift up, Sweeping those arms up and bringing them back to heart center. Now inhale, and as you exhale, we're going to come back into chair pose. So in your chair, you want to extend those glutes back behind you so that you can see the toes peeping out beyond your knees. So just really focus on extending the torso back in this position, keeping the spine elongated. We'll keep our hands at heart center. Nice strong pose. Utkatasana chair pose. And now we're going to slowly sit back onto our mat. So try not to use your hands as you come back to sit on your glutes. And now we can use our hands just to shift towards the center of our mats. Now let's lower down and come to lying on our backs for our supine restorative poses. Draw that right knee into your chest, hugging the right knee, feeling the release in the lower back. And now you can draw the knee towards the shoulder, so on the outside of the rib cage, opening up those hips. Take hold of the ball of the foot with your right hand, lifting up for a half happy baby, being mindful of keeping the glutes on the left on the mat. So use your left hand just to encourage those hips to stay grounded. And we're extending into the right hip, opening up, easing into a half happy baby. And for an extra extension, let's start to straighten that right leg, drawing the leg down towards the mat. This works the hamstring, it works the quads, it works the thighs, it works the psoas, and it's opening up our hips. Keeping the legs straight, let's gently draw it back up to center. And you can start to just encourage that thigh to gently ease towards your chest. So sometimes I like to rock it back and forth, just to warm up a little bit. And then once you've found a comfortable position, you can just hold. You can use a strap here, you can keep a micro bend in the leg. Just work with whatever suits your body at this time. And then we'll replace that foot onto the mat, drawing the left knee into our chest, hugging that knee. Feeling the release in the lower back. And then draw the knee to the outside of your rib cage, opening up the hips. Take hold of the ball of the foot as we ease into a half happy baby. Placing the right hand onto that right hip, just to encourage it to stay grounded. And then you've got an option just to stay here in your half happy baby. Alternatively, you can extend that leg, opening up for a deeper stretch. Remembering always to breathe through it, connecting to your breath. This brings us stability in every pose. We'll extend that leg up, so again just encouraging the thigh to gently find its way towards your chest, so easing into those hamstrings. And then you can find a stationary position. Again, if you'd like to use a strap here, you can use a strap. Then we'll slowly return that foot back onto the mat. Sweeping both arms between your knees, take hold of the balls of both feet and we'll open up for a full happy baby. Sometimes it's nice just to rock in your happy baby, it's very soothing. So again, we can use this pose as a gentle form of meditation. Closing your eyes, connecting with your breath. Happy baby pose of bliss. Then if you'd like to try an extra extension, you can start to straighten those legs. Alternatively, just stay in your happy baby. breathing through it, enjoying its restorative benefits. Connecting with our inner child. Keep breathing through it. And let's just return those feet to the mat. Extending those arms out on either side of you. You're going to just move into some gentle rotations, some gentle supine twists. So just moving those knees from side to side, finding your own rhythm, breathing through it. Gentle release for the back. And with each twist, remembering to alternate the direction of your head. So you can move your head from side to side. Your head is always looking away from the knees, giving you a full, long extension of the spine. Let's come back to center. Gently replacing those legs onto the mat, extending them out in front of you as we prepare for our Shavasana, our final relaxation. So allow the feet to flop out to the sides, release any trapped flesh, completely relaxing into it, feeling fully supported by the earth. Your arms are by your side, you're resting on your middle knuckle. If your fingers want to gently curl up, that's absolutely fine. Your palms are facing up. You can gently move your neck from side to side, moving your head from side to side, easing that neck. And then bring it to settle in a neutral position. And tuck your chin in slightly to elongate that neck. Draw the shoulder blades in slightly, releasing any trapped flesh, opening up the heart center. And let's just connect again to our Ujjayi breath, our ocean breath. So inhaling through the nose and exhaling as we create the ocean sound. Coming back to our intention of balance and harmony, of yin and yang energy, of health and wellness. Start to wake up our bodies. Rub the fingers and thumbs together. Start to wriggle those toes, rotating the wrists and the ankles. And bring the feet together and point your toes. Inhale and reach those arms up above your head, giving yourself a good stretch. Stretching into every part of your body. And then exhale to release. Tucking those knees into the chest, gently rocking from side to side, massaging the lower back. And then we'll roll over onto one side into a fetal position. Taking your time to slowly come back up to a seated position. Let's cross our legs in easy pose. Inhale and reach those arms up. And exhale as you bring the hands down to heart center. Let's bow our heads in gratitude for this time that we've shared together, for our bodies that have been able to do these asanas with us today, for our breathing, for the ability to connect to our breath and to use our breath in our yin postures to work into that fascia. Thanks for sharing this time with me. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.